Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TaughtToProfit.com, and today before I get into the subject I want to talk to you about, I want to remind you to go to my website, TaughtToProfit.com, sign up for my newsletter so you can be kept up to date with all the new videos, books, and blog posts that are being released many times each and every day. Today I want to talk to you about avoiding the passive income dream, passive income schemes, where people sit around dreaming up that they're going to make millions of dollars on these trivial online money-making ideas and passive income ideas that aren't really passive in many cases. For example, one of them is doing surveys. I've seen people talk about doing surveys online. You can make $50 an hour. You can make $300 an hour. And yet, do you know anyone that's made any real money doing surveys? Not just $50 one time. Because $50 an hour, 1 hour a month is not making a living. And that's the problem. People talk about it in the way that you would think, well, $50 an hour, if I work 8 hours a day, it's $400 a day. No. Because you can only get maybe an hour every few weeks. And some people, well, they do make more money in their accounts, their survey accounts, but then they never get paid out. So one of the quickest things you can do to determine whether or not it's even paying is search for whatever that paid survey company is, and then after it put the word scam. Search that in Google or Bing or wherever, and you'll find many times these people do not pay, or they require $500 before you get a payout, and they only pay out part of that. It's just all kinds of red tape and things that, well, you have to try all these surveys, you go through half of them, and then it determines, well, you're not really a good candidate for this survey. So you just wasted 10 minutes on a survey to pre-qualify you for a survey that's actually going to pay you money. That's a waste of your time. You'll never get anywhere financially doing those kind of things. And for every person that's made some money on that, no one's become wealthy except for the people selling you the courses on paid surveys or the ebooks. Those are the only people making any real money. Another thing is making courses. Make your own course. You don't have to know anything. Just make your own course. This is touted by a lot of people. Make a webinar and just talk about something you enjoy, and then make a course about that, and you'll bring in the money. Why? Who's going to buy a course from you if you have nothing to talk about? You're just talking about something you love? Is there anyone else interested in that? Maybe there is. Maybe there's a good market there. Maybe you could make a lot of money. But too often these people are selling you this idea, this daydream, this fantasy world of passive income through making a course. Meanwhile, do you have any idea if anyone wants to hear about that course? Would anybody, maybe they're interested in the subject, but is anybody willing to pay money for it? You'll find out oftentimes no one's willing to pay money for some of those things. They might be interested in the subject, but when it comes to actually putting forth money for it, no, they're not interested anymore. They're interested only in just discussing it, maybe discussing it on forums or Reddit or Steam it, but then when it actually comes down to putting some money down to learn more information about it, no one's interested. And the worst case scenario is maybe you don't even know enough to provide real value. For example, there was a guy on YouTube selling a Bitcoin cryptocurrency course for $500 who didn't know the most basic of basic things about cryptocurrency. He had no idea the difference between a private key and a public key. That's not somebody now you don't have to know that, and that's perfectly fine if you don't know that. But if you're selling a course and you do not have the basics down, you're ripping people off. And that's not good. That's not a good way to earn your money. You need to provide real value and real substance. Now you can make a beginner's course, a course that's very simple and basic, and outlines very basic things in whatever subject you're talking about. That could provide value for people. People who are beginners may need something that's really, really basic. And it may seem simple to you, and other people could easily understand it, may already know it. But for those beginners, that may be perfect, and that may be valuable to them. But you need to make sure you're an expert in the subject. And if you're not an expert in any kind of subject, you don't need to be making a course about it. And get the dollar signs out of your eyes and realize what you need to do to make money is provide value. Not just try to get something past someone, they'll pay it and be disappointed later. Provide value. Another thing is no money down real estate. Now, this is touted a lot today. It's been touted for decades on infomercials and books. And there is some truth to this, but the problem is for most people, it just won't work. Now, you may say, well, I knew this one guy, he partnered with somebody. That's how he started his real estate business. Yes, you can absolutely do that. If you find someone that will finance the purchase, and if you don't have any credit or don't have good credit, let you use their credit as well, then you might be able to get a no money down deal. But the reality is when you're in that situation and you've told somebody, I found this great property, but I have no money and I don't have credit enough to get this property, can you give me your money and credit? Why do they need you in the mix? Why wouldn't they just cut you out of the process, buy the property themselves, and not have to give you anything? Now you may say, well, but I brought them the deal. This is the thing. There are deals everywhere. If somebody's interested in investing in real estate, they don't need you. There are plenty of people willing to sell you the deal. Now, one thing you could do that would require no money and no credit is if you're somehow able to convince a homeowner to sign you an option, and then you sell that option to the person. That way, you're not needing their credit, you're not needing their money. They're buying the house option that you have to buy the house for a certain price from you because they want that property. And you could do that, and there is a way to make money in that. But the problem is, in the real world, there are few of these deals out there. There are few people willing to just sign over an option for you to buy their house at a discounted price that you can turn around and sell to someone else. Those aren't all over the place. And you may find one or two, but if you're talking about a few $1,000s over the course of 6 months of work, hard work, trying to find these deals, trying to line people up, getting people telling you they'll do it and then backing out, and all this stuff, you're going to find this is not as easy as it sounds. And the reason it sounds easy is because someone is selling you some course or training or mentorship. And notice how oftentimes you buy some little cheap course or a book or something, and then there's an upsell. They want you to buy their $15,000 or $5,000 or their special software or their monthly subscription for $500 or whatever. Don't you see that the real money being made is not in the real estate? It's in the training, it's in the tools, in the software, it's in the mentorship. That's how these people are making their money. That's why they spend so much time training and seminars and webinars and instead of actually buying real estate. Many of them only buy real estate just to keep up the appearance that they're a real estate investor, when the reality is they're public speakers and they are course sellers. There are people who sell educational materials about real estate. They're not really real estate investors. Most of the real estate investors I know have no courses. They don't have time to train people. They don't have time to go mentor people for $15,000, $20,000, whatever. No amount of money in the world, they don't have time for it because they're so busy getting new deals and managing their properties. And yes, you can have people do most of this for you. You still need to have some hand in the business. And maybe you're able to get good enough employees and staff around you to build it up where you don't have to do anything. But that takes some time and some success to get to that point. If you're starting off from scratch, you're not going to have those tools available to you. You're not going to have the people willing to work for you in the beginning. You're going to do this on your own, and it's not magic. These deals aren't everywhere, and you're going to find it's a lot harder than it sounds. And you may be able to do very well, and I hope you will. But if somebody's trying to sell you a course, you need to understand that's where their money's coming from. That's what their motive is, to get you to buy the course. That's not how you need to get started in real estate. Buying a course from somebody whose goal is to sell you a course, not to help you make money in real estate. Maybe that is a side goal they do have for you, but the reality is their money is coming in from teaching and training, not from real estate. Another thing I see people throw around is, well, make money writing books and selling them on Kindle. Take public domain works, rewrite them, and sell those books, and you'll make tremendous amounts of money. Thousands of dollars in royalties a month. This is another of the same issue where people are selling courses on writing books, and you need to write books or make coloring books or do all these things, and you're going to somehow get these great royalties from Amazon Kindle services, which one thing to note, Some of these things, these courses and these books about writing for Amazon, publishing books on the Kindle format, are very dated. These are back when if somebody just downloaded your book using Kindle Unlimited, you got a certain royalty percentage from that. And now it's based on other factors, not just somebody downloading the book. They need to read it. They need to read it for a certain amount of time, certain amount of pages, and that contributes to your actual income. So if you're providing garbage ebooks, which many people were, just tricking somebody into buying your book is not going to make you any money. You need to have valuable content that people actually sit down and read the whole thing. That's how you're going to make the biggest amount of royalties if you're going for that. If you're just trying to sell the book, you still need to have valuable content. This idea you're going to publish a bunch of 99-cent ebooks and make tremendous amounts of money is not the real world. Some people have done that, but what you'll find is many of those people have done it in the past. Now notice how they're hyping books, courses on how to do it, trainings, webinars, mentorship. That's how they're making their money. And there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff because some of that could provide you some value. But as a person who sold a number of books on Amazon Kindle format, these kind of things really don't work for most people when they're doing junk books. You need to provide books that have value. If you're not writing from a subject you understand completely, you can be an authoritative voice on that subject, and you're going to take public domain books and reword them poorly and put that out there, you're not going to have a successful business on Amazon selling ebooks. It just won't happen. The problem with all these things is they are trying to get the least amount of work put in to get the most amount of results, which is perfectly fine. Obviously, you want to get the best results you could possibly get and not have to kill yourself to do it. But the missing ingredient in all these things is value. None of these things are people trying to provide value to their customers, trying to bless the world and be a blessing and provide things of substance and value to people. They're all just trying to get one over on somebody. Oh, get a survey. Oh, get some free money. Somebody gives you free money for real estate and you could use their credit and buy all these properties. You don't need any money. These are delusions. In the real world, if you find one person dumb enough to give you money and let you use their credit to buy a house that they could just buy on their own, it's just not going to happen. They're going to cut you out of that process. And if you find somebody that will partner with you, that's great. There are people out there that just don't want to have any hands involved in it. They just want to have somebody else manage everything. So they would do that. But when you have zero track record, if those people have any wisdom, they're not going to trust you. You have no properties yourself, no credit, and no money. Why would they entrust their money and their credit into your hands? Maybe the deal looks great, but they can't trust you to do it. So they're going to go to somebody else who can do it. Even if they wouldn't cut you out of the deal, they're not going to get in a deal with you because you have nothing to offer them. And this is another thing where you're not providing value. You need to provide value, whatever it may be. If it's a real estate deal, if you're getting an investor and you're going to use their money and their credit, what value are you providing? Okay, maybe you don't know anything about real estate. Maybe you have no real estate. Maybe you have no money. Maybe your credit stinks or you have no credit. Well, if the house needs to be fixed up, can you fix it up? Have you done repairs? Have you have a track record? Maybe you have a repair business, a home repair business, and you've done that for years. That could be the value you provide to somebody that then would make them say, yes, I want to be a partner with you because you're going to fix this place up. I don't want to fix it up. But your part of the deal will be you fixing this house up, getting it ready to resell or getting it ready to rent out or whatever the case may be. Then you're providing value. You're not just trying to get a few $1,000s here and there and flip houses and get rid of them as quick as possible and use other people to your advantage. You're actually providing value and substance there. You want to write ebooks? That's fine. Write about things you know about in an authoritative way that provides value to people. Don't just slop out junk books, trash public domain books that have been reworded poorly. Put some effort into it. Provide value to people. Doesn't mean everybody's going to like it. Doesn't matter. But if you're actually trying to provide value, you will be blessed and you will bless others with that. And all these things are people trying to avoid providing value. Your mindset needs to be different. You need to be one of blessing blessing people, giving them the best value, the most for their money, where they feel like they've gotten a good deal and you did right. Even if they don't like the product in the end, maybe they say it's not good, they can at least see there was value there. Not everybody's going to like everything, and that's perfectly fine. It's not about that, but you need to legitimately, from your heart, put forth the effort to provide value to people. Good, substantive value for whatever it is you're doing. That people are getting good value for their money when they buy something from you or use money on training you're going to provide them, whatever it may be, that you are providing good value to them. And you're truly trying to, from your heart, be a blessing to them. When you do that, the money will flow in. You won't be able to stop the money from flowing in because you will be providing value, and people want that. They're hungering for value in all kinds of areas. Find something that needs to be fixed, a solution people need, something that isn't solved that you could solve, and go provide the value. I pray it's been a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.